All right, today we're talking about Gemini 3, the latest AI model from Google. But we're going to skip the usual benchmarks because we're asking a way bigger question. Can this thing actually build complex software, from scratch? Let's put it to the test. And right out of the gate, we've got this huge claim from our source material. We're not talking about a small step up here. The statement is that for the next couple of months, Gemini 3 is flat out the best model on the planet. That's a pretty high bar, right? So is the hype for real? So yeah, we're getting our hands dirty. We're going to push past the numbers and see what it can do in the real world. Can it build a website, an app? We're going to see what works and, just as importantly, what doesn't. Okay, so when you're trying to get an AI to build something, you've basically got two options. You can tell it what you want, with a bunch of text, or you can show it what you want with a picture or a video. And that difference between telling and showing, it turns out it's absolutely critical. You're about to see just how big a deal it is. All right, first attempt, we're going with a telling method, a pure text prompt. And it's a detailed one too. We asked it to make a website for a credit card called Bread. We're talking skeuomorphic design, black and gold colors, an animated header, even a background that feels like a credit card. I mean, we gave it a lot to work with. And the result? And the result? It's fine. The source we're looking at really nails it when they say it's not great. I mean, sure, it technically has the stuff we asked for, but the whole thing just looks, I don't know, kind of cheap, kind of amateurish. And this right here really shows you the ceiling when you only use words. And that last experiment leads to this massive insight. Maybe the future here isn't about becoming a master wordsmith, trying to write the world's most perfect, detailed prompt. Maybe it's just about finding a picture of something you like and telling the AI, hey, build me that. You can really see the difference here. On one side, you have the text-only prompt, which kind of gives you these generic cookie-cutter results. But on the other side, when you give it a visual, a screenshot, a video, you're giving the AI so much more context. And the quality of what you get back, it's just in a completely different league. Okay, so let's put that theory to the test. Attempt number 2. This time, we're not writing a novel. We're just giving it a screen recording of the Perplexity AI website. It's got that really clean, modern look, And the prompt was super simple. Make this website for a browser called Comet exactly like this. That's it. Just the video. Wow. I mean, the difference is just night and day. Is it a one-to-one perfect copy? No, not quite. Like some of the background lines are missing. But who cares? What you get is a genuinely high-quality, professional-looking landing page. This is something you could actually use, something that wouldn't scare away customers. It's just so much better. So, a cool landing page, check. But what about something bigger? Something way more complex, something everybody on the planet recognizes. Let's up the stakes. Can Gemini actually replicate the front end of Facebook? And, believe it or not, the answer is yeah. Visually, it's a dead ringer. It looks exactly like Facebook. But, and this is a really big but, it's all for show. It's a facade. It's just the user interface, the front end. You can click all you want, but none of the buttons do anything. You still need a human developer to come in and build the engine, the back end, to actually make it work. Okay, get ready for the grand finale. This is by far the most impressive test. We're not just copying a look anymore. We're asking it to build a real, functional tool from one prompt. The mission? Create a custom PC builder that actually understands which parts work together and can add up the cost as you go. This is the real deal. So let's just walk through how this thing works. First, you pick a motherboard, and boom, a picture of it shows up. Then, and this is the cool part, when you go to pick a CPU, the AI is smart enough to gray out all the ones that won't work with your motherboard. It gets it. You keep adding RAM, storage, a graphics card, a power supply, and with every click, the picture of your PC gets more and more built out. This isn't just copying a picture, this is actual logic at work.
And then, at the very end, it tallies everything up. It pulls real prices from the internet for all the parts you picked and gives you the grand total, a final, concrete number. Think about that. A fully interactive, logical application built from a single request in one shot.
This quote from the source just hits so hard. He says, I actually spent months learning how to do something like this, and now it's done in a single prompt. Everything that would have taken months of grinding, learning compatibility, building the interface, hooking up the price lookups is just done. The leap in productivity is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. Okay, but after seeing something that incredible, we need to take a deep breath. It's time for a little reality check. Because as mind-blowing as that was, this technology is not about to replace all engineers tomorrow. Not by a long shot. There's still some major gaps where you absolutely 100% need a human in the loop.
So where does it fall short? Well, we already saw it with the Facebook clone. It doesn't do the back end. That's a whole other job. And a lot of complex stuff, like trying to export your project from an AI tool, it just breaks a lot. You still need a person for that last 10%, the polish, the debugging, the person who acts as the glue that holds all these different AI-generated parts together. And that brings us to this idea of a new, super important skill. Let's call it synthesis. See, the job isn't just about sitting there and typing out code line by line anymore. It's more like being an orchestra conductor. You take the beautiful front end that one AI made, you grab the back end logic from another, you sprinkle in your own custom code where needed, and you bring it all together into one finished working product.
This whole shift creates this really interesting situation, a kind of dilemma that's going to have huge ripple effects across the entire software industry. For anyone with a career in tech, this is, well, it's a world of both incredible opportunity and, frankly, massive disruption. And this quote just perfectly captures that new power dynamic. It says the 10x software engineer, that superstar programmer, will do 100x the jobs now. For the engineer who really masters these tools, who gets that art of synthesis, their output isn't just going to get a little better. It's going to explode. The 10x engineer becomes the 100x engineer. The amount of work they can get done is just going to be insane. But here's the paradox, right? It's just basic economics. When something becomes super abundant, when the supply goes through the roof, its value tends to drop. So as AI makes it ridiculously easy for pretty much anyone to build software, the value of the act of just building software, well, it starts to go down.
So, if writing the code itself is becoming a commodity, what's the new valuable skill? Well, it's pretty much everything except the code. It's distribution. Great, you built something, but can you get anyone to use it? It's business sense. Can you sell it? Can you make a deal? It's that synthesis skill again. Can you be the conductor? And maybe the most important one of all, domain expertise. Do you actually understand a field, like finance or medicine, well enough to even know what problems are worth solving in the first place?
And that really leaves us with a big question for the future, doesn't it? In a world where basically anyone can build anything, the value isn't in how you build it anymore. The value shifts to the what and the why. When building an app is easy, what really truly matters is having the vision to build the right thing and the skill to actually get it to the people who need it.